Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Thursday, July 11th, 2024. In this video, we're going to look at an apple and an orange and see if there's some relationship. I will show you what I'm talking about as I scoot over to a compilation where I've got a recent reel that was put out on July 4th by Mark Zuckerberg, a recent social media post by our 45th President of the United States, and then we'll see if one may be speaking to the other, plus other insights and information. I'm going to take you to a compilation which will make what I'm referring to a little more clear, and if it interests you to look at in closer detail, you can click on the Facebook link that will be in the video description box. Let's go to that share screen and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, on July 4th, with no text at all, this was put out by Mr. Zuckerberg. Happy birthday, America. Seems pretty innocent on the face of it. Okay. But a few days later, Mr. T put out this. Republicans must pass the SAVE Act or go home and cry yourself to sleep. Non-citizen illegal migrants are getting the right to vote, being pushed by crooked Democrat politicians who are not being stopped by an equally dishonest Justice Department. I should also say aided and abetted by the rhinos. Our whole voting system is under siege. Harmeet and David, go to court and get this stopped now. The Dems can't win on their policies. The only way they can win is to cheat. They do it at every level of government, and they do it well. That's how they get an incapacitated moron like Joe Biden elected, get tough RNC, Michael W., Speaker Johnson, and all state and local Republican politicians. The Justice Department is corrupt and won't do a thing to help. They have no shame. All I can say is that if I'm elected president, we will pursue election fraudsters at levels never seen before, and they will be sent to prison for long periods of time. We already know who you are. Don't do it. Zuckerbucks, be careful. Okay, now the reason I referenced that is that there was speculation in the Anon community that this surfboard video, okay, that was posted on the 4th, might have been a communication by Zuckerberg kind of bragging that he was ready for events to follow. And that this was Mr. T's shot across the bow saying, don't try it. Now, we do know that Mr. T has a history of warning his adversaries that what he's doing. He's pretty candid about it. So that's what I wanted to, I think there may be some validity to that hypothesis that the Zuckerberg reel was being responded to by Mr. T with that social media post, besides his genuine, honest desire to have the SAVE Act pass. Now, I know that in the interim, the 46th resident has announced that he will veto it even if it passes. And I guess he's at this point no longer concerned about treason charges. So I'm not going to go into will it, won't it. I'd like us not to even get to an election personally, to have big changes happen beforehand, but we'll keep looking at the game as it unfolds, right? Okay. So part of that game is looking at some of the codesmanship that's done on both sides of the aisle. So let's ask the universe, was Mr. Z bragging that he was set up to do in 2024 what he did in 2020? And was this a response by Mr. T, kind of a warning of don't do it? Sure looked like it said right in there, don't do it. Called it Zuckerbucks, but that's real close to, the guy on Facebook. So let's see, is there truth to that hypothesis that those two posts are connected and that there was a warning and just not even a warning, just a promise that certain actions will have consequences, plus other insights and information the universe wants us to know? Let's find out together. I'm going to switch the camera and you can watch me work with the cards, and that's where we'll get our answers. Okay. So was Mr. T, is that there truth to the hypothesis that Mr. T was advising Mr. Z that a repeat of actions in 2020 and done in 2024 would have huge consequences? So was it a shot across the bow, just saying, you know, actions have consequences, and some consequences are bigger than others, plus other insights and information? And we would like this information to be as clear of any obscuring or veiling as possible, because no one's safety is probably impacted by this. So let's have just clear communication on this topic. The yes or no element was that a communication, especially between those two parties, plus other insights and information? Okay, so we have the King of Cups and the Seven of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, Hierophant. Then we have the Five of Cups, the Hermit, and Temperance. We have 1, 2, 3 major arcana saying that this question is kind of important. Don't have a hard yes, but we do have some information coming from the cards. I'll tell you what I'm getting intuitively, as well as what the cards are kind of confirming for us. So our question was there communication? We have the King of Cups here. He's kind of in charge of feelings, and also can be rather tricky in nature. So it is not a card. None of these cards are typically ones associated with Mr. T. So I'm assuming that this is kind of referring to Mr. Z over at Facebook. Okay. Now, telling us a little more about him, we have the Seven of Wands, kind of a determination card, just telling us even with that possible communication and warning, he's still determined to do what he does because he's had success in the past, and he's firmly behind the socialist Marxist agenda and New World Order type of agenda that is trying to be foisted upon the world. So that's what we've got here. Now in the present, we also have the Hierophant. Hierophant can be wise, but it's wise. It's wisdom that is steeped in tradition. Don't research, trust me, believe me, throw away that scripture and just listen to what I have to say. I am the authority. So again, trying to be the authority. In the recent past, got some hard work happening and skilled labor on the part of Mr. Z and his crew. Okay, as we go into the balloting season, yeah, he was communicating that he is ready and all systems are go. Okay, let's look at the near future though. Near future, it's not going to work out quite the way he wanted it to. I like when all Five of Cups shows up sometimes. Okay, so in the near future, it's not going to work out for him. This tells me, without being a hard yes, that this was his advisory. It was that shot across the bow. Don't do it. Don't do it. Actions have consequences. Okay. And then we have major arcanas on either side kind of framing this result in, saying, yeah, it's going to happen. Okay. Now, the Hermit is definitely a kind of a white hat. Absolutely. But it's another wisdom card, but it's the one that's a very graceful type of wisdom. It is benevolent. Okay, it depends on how big your lens is. If you just want this to be a symbolism of, you know, the whoever you worship, fine. I think it also encompasses some off-world intelligence and benevolent off-world energy, but all of it good. All of it good. Okay, so, and he's got his back turned to him like, don't look at me to help you out of this mess. Okay. You got yourself into it. You were told you got yourself into it. Okay. And Temperance says, I'm sorry you didn't get all the results you wanted, but it's so sad, too bad. So that's why the sad result is kind of what's going to happen with shenanigans that is done by some of these big media personalities going into the balloting. They don't need to tamper with it and interfere. Hey, How about this for a revolutionary idea? Let's have one vote per citizen, per legal voter, and see what the results are. Oh, it's been probably before my lifetime since that's ever happened. Okay, let's get a few more cards. King of Wands. Oh, we got our hard eight. Yes, already. Now we've got a hard one with the Ace of Cups showing up. Gonna get two more cards here. Judgment. Hello, Judgment. And the Two of Swords. Okay, King of Wands is vision, leadership, what have you. There's going to be some sadness, okay? But it's not going to be for those that have wisdom and a sense of integrity and justice in their actions. Absolutely. The Ace of Cups talks about potential for just good results to happen here. So we got our hard yes communicatively about the question. Was that Mr. T trying to tell Mr. Z, don't do it, think twice? And we got a yes. Yes, he was, absolutely. I don't think it's going to stop him from trying what he can try, but he's not going to be happy with the consequences or results of that. Okay, judgment's coming, okay? Now, we can review past actions and stand accountable for present ones without fear when we haven't engaged in shenanigans. And we're kind of in a holding pattern here. There is still opportunity for a change of heart. I don't see it happening. There's too many firm cards showing up with the major arcanas saying, it might be nice, but 1, 2, 3, 4 of them kind of saying, yeah, they were communicating. Yeah, Mr. T was trying to warn Mr. Z to have a change of heart. I don't think his warning is going to be heeded. I think he'll wish it was later, but doesn't look like it will be. So there we have it. Let's recap. There was speculation in the Anon community that Mr. T recently had a social media post talking about the SAVE Act needs to be passed, and cheating in elections is going to have really, really extensive legal consequences for those engaged in shenanigans if he's elected. And we asked the universe, is there truth to that speculation that Mr. Z's July 4th surfboard reel was a code of communication of his own saying, I'm ready to go. I'll do it again like I did it in 2020. And then Mr. T saying, think twice, Mr. Z, think twice, because he did use the word Zuckerbucks in that. So we just asked, was there a connection here? Was it communication between the two and other insights and information? Well, towards the end of the read, we got a hard yes, that yes, this was communication between those two parties. Okay, but we got some information that looks like Mr. Z is pretty proud that he's put a lot of effort into establishing the protocols that will be used in this balloting season coming up. And he's going to proceed, but he's not going to be happy with it ultimately, which kind of gives us a nod to the fact, because remember, Mr. T's thing is if I win, well, the only way he wouldn't be happy is if Mr. T did win, because then he will have the ability to follow up on some of those promises of dealing with crimes against humanity, treason, election fraud, things like that. The hermit turned his back on Mr. Z and said, you're going to be sorry, don't do it. You would think they'd learn to listen a little bit and to straighten up, but they don't, okay? And so it's not going to go the way Mr. Z hopes, and I like seeing that. So if we do complete this balloting cycle, it does look like there's going to be some results that are actually ones that I'll be gratified about. Okay, now, although I'd really be gratified to have the world change so much we didn't need the balloting or had a whole different type of balloting we had to do. And you should know what I'm hinting about here. But if you don't, oh well, you will eventually. The King of Wands showed up just saying that there's, a lot of wisdom and truth and honor in the forces that oppose the shenanigans gang. And they are going to be facing judgment. Okay, it'd be better to do it on your own and review it now and make some changes now, but it doesn't look like they're going to. Again, they do have an interim where it's still possible to make some changes, okay? And yeah, we always have that little grace period that we don't always take advantage of, but a grace period to rethink choices and even make some course corrections. Some of us do, some of us don't. There's times I have, there's times I haven't. I tell you what, when I've had those opportunities to make a course correction and I've decided not to, I have really lived to regret it. Let me tell you. So that's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time and your attention, and I hope you found this interesting and possibly of value. And we'll keep looking for some of these connections between opposing forces and different sides as this whole chapter in our political paradigm plays out. Until next time, if you'd like to receive it, I am more than happy to send each and every one of you love and light and all things bright. Bye.